Couch to 5K, week 2, run 1. In terms of this run, I honestly did not feel up for it at all. It was quite grey outside, it was a little bit chilly, and I was a bit tired waking up this morning, so the thought of running was not very appealing at the time this morning. So my intention was always to stick to the program regardless of how I'm feeling and just make sure I get through it regardless of what the weather's like or regardless of how I'm feeling in the morning. Just to make sure I stick to the program the entire way through. When I started the Couch to 5K, I made a commitment that I wanted to run a 5K without stopping. That's the commitment I made. So I was going to ensure that I made sure that I stood to that commitment and ensure that I ran every single time I could if I was fit and able to make sure I stuck with the program and saw it the entire way through. One thing I'd like to say is that there's going to be days where you're not 100% motivated. There's going to be days where you're not feeling up to it. And when those days come, and they will come, that's your opportunity to lean into your discipline. It's your opportunity to prove to yourself that when that motivation isn't there, you're still putting that work in. You're still getting up and getting after whatever goal you have in mind. And obviously I'm talking about running here, but this can apply to any ambition or goal you have in life. Ensure that you're getting up and getting after it, regardless of how you feel. Ensuring that your sort of life isn't dictated by how you're feeling or isn't dictated by the weather outside. You should be so focused and zoned in on whatever it is, and ensuring that you don't let anything get in your way, and I certainly haven't. It would feel great if you were motivated 100% of the time, but that's just not how life works. If it did, it would be great, but there's always going to be ebbs and flows, and that's completely normal. Ensure that you're turning up every single day, or not in running terms, but maybe in life, and ensure you stay committed. So coming into week 2, having previously completed week 1, there is a minor difference in terms of the runs from week 1 jumping into week 2. And what I'll do is I'll draw a little comparison of what week 1 runs look like compared to week 2. And I'll try and throw 2 pictures on screen and just run through the main differences you'll expect if you are just starting out and you're wondering what the changes are when you progress in through the weeks. So what you find with week 2 is that there is a certain uplift in intensity. It's going to grow to be a bit more demanding, and you're only going to go upwards. So as you progress through the weeks, the intention behind the program is they're going to get you to run for longer, and there's going to be fewer breaks. So you'll be running for longer with less breaks. And the idea behind this is that this is going to be the testament to building your endurance and your stamina. The long-term goal is to be able to run a 5K without stopping, which can take anywhere from maybe 25 to 40 minutes or maybe even longer if you're running at a slower pace. And in order to do that, you need to get confident running for a little bit longer without stopping, and that's exactly what week 2 does right here. I'll quickly just go through it. I'll try and throw 2 screenshots I've taken from the runs I've done in week 1 and the one I completed just today in week 2, and I'll try and throw 2 pictures on screen so we can quickly just run through how run 1 of week 1 looks like compared to a run in week 2. So starting off in week 1, it starts off with a warm-up for 5 minutes. You then run for 60 seconds, walk for 90 seconds, repeat that 7 times, and then run for another 60 seconds with a 5-minute cooldown at the very end. So if you total up the runs you're doing that entire time, you're running for 60 seconds times 7, so that'll be 7 minutes of running, plus another 60 seconds, which means you'll be running for a total of 8 minutes throughout a run in week 1. And if you compare that to week 2, you'll see that the warm-up time stays the same at 5 minutes, and I believe that stays the same throughout all your runs throughout the entire program. So I don't believe there's any changes there. But what you'll notice with week 2 is that your runs have jumped from 60 seconds to 90 seconds, which is about a 50% increase. Although 30 seconds isn't a long time, the idea behind this is just to make small increments, make small continuous improvements over time. And that's what the run in week 2 will do for you. So you see there's a little jump from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. And what you'll notice as well is that your walking time, or your, call it maybe your resting time, has gone up as well. It's gone from 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Because your running time has slightly increased, they've compensated that by giving you a little bit more time to rest, which I think is quite reasonable. And what you'll notice here is that in terms of repetitions, you're only repeating this 5 times now. So you're running 90 seconds, and then you're repeating that on 5 different occasions. So if you do 90 seconds multiplied by 5 times, it's about 450 seconds, or about 7.5 minutes, I think. Yeah, it's 7.5 minutes. And then to top off that run, you then run for another 90 seconds. So if you total that up, that will come to around 9 minutes of running. So I believe that's 1 minute more than your run in week 1. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you'll be running for 9 minutes in total. And the way they do that is they've increased your individual runs to 90 seconds as opposed to 60. Just to quickly pause on what I was saying for a moment. When I went to edit this video, all the file got completely corrupted and half the audio isn't there, so I'm gonna have to re-record it, and also the exposure's pretty messed up. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna try and re-record the segment I was about to continue with and just finish off my talking points and then wrap the video up as we go along. So as I was saying, I was just mentioning about the differences between week 1 and week 2 in terms of the runs. It's a gradual increase. You'll start off by running for 60 seconds in week 1, and then that will jump to 90 seconds in week 2, and then you'll do repetitions of either 7 times or 5 times. So in total, for weeks, it runs in week 1, you'll be running for 8 minutes in total, which is staggered and spread out so you can manage your load. And then the same thing will apply to week 2. Your runs will be staggered, but you'll be running for a total of 9 minutes, so 1 minute increase over time. And that's all I want to say on that. Just to briefly touch upon something I don't think I've mentioned before, and this is a focus that I've been putting in recently, and this is something that I actually mentioned to you in the program. One of the instructors, whoever you choose, they will mention this at some point in the early weeks, because this is like a foundation of your running. You have to nail this down to a T in order to make real progress. And I just wanted to put a focus onto your breathing patterns and how important they are. Your breathing patterns, the way you breathe, how you breathe, is very important, and how to manage your breathing properly so you can run for longer. And also talking about breathing, your heart rate as well. So think of it like this. Your body works in the same way a computer does. So when you're working or you're exercising, let's say, the harder you work, the harder your body has to work to keep you going. So it has to pump blood around the body, and you start to become warmer. And as a result of that, you sweat to reduce your body heat so you don't get too hot. The same way a computer, when it starts working, and you keep it running for hours and hours on end, it will start to get hotter, and the fan will stop blasting cold air to try and cool down the central components of the computer. Everything has their own sort of mechanism. The same way you sweat to cool down, the same way a computer has a fan to cool its components down. You can actually cool yourself down and lower your heart rate by breathing properly, and you can do this by a number of methods, but the one that I find most helpful, and this is one they actually mention within the runs when they're talking through the dialogue phase, most likely when you're on your walking rest break, is you want to inhale and then take 4 steps with either your left or right foot. So just as you're walking normally, count 4 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You would inhale, and then you do your 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that makes sense. And the reason you want to get in control of your heart rate is that the faster your heart rate is, the harder your body is going to have to work to cool down and make sure your heart isn't working or overworking because you don't know how to manage your heart rate properly and breathe in the correct manner. Keeping a rest or keeping a sort of lower heart rate through breathing in the correct manner and get oxygen into your lungs will help to reduce your heart rate and allow you to run for longer without the need to breathe heavily. Without the need to breathe heavily. Without the need to breathe excessively. Slow down. If you can get on top of your breathing patterns and get this down to a T, you'll be able to run for kilometers, miles on end. Because keeping a lower heart rate will mean your body won't have to work as hard, which I've mentioned already, and you'll be able to last longer. You will have improved stamina. And just to wrap things up, I will throw in a screenshot from Strava of my run performance and all the little statistics, and I'll leave it at that. I'll see you in the next run.